everyone, I'm happy to see you on my Art Fishler School channel, and today we're gonna paint the symbol of the next upcoming year, this beautiful watercolor tiger. So please prepare for this picture watercolors, brushes, some watercolor paper. I will explain you in the description every material I'm using, and I will guide you step by step. That would be easy, so please enjoy this time and let's start.
Okay, so first we are starting with the sketch. The most important thing is to find the right position for your tiger. So for this is called composition. That's the main first step we should do, because from this depends where will be our object. So we need to find the toppest point, the rightest point and left point of the tiger. We need to make sure everything is right. It's not too big, it's not too small. And after this, with easy lines, we need to make the sketch. I also would advise you to make the middle line of tiger, because it will help us to understand how he moves. He's actually almost not moving here, but he sits and he turns his head to the right side. And after this, when you understand that position and size are right, we can start to make all the details. I recommend you to also measure how big, for example, head compared to other parts, compared to body, compared to legs, for example. And same thing we should do with every detail of him. Also, about the eyes and ears, about small details, it's always best to imagine, or you can draw the vertical or horizontal lines on the head to understand where, again, compared to ear, for example, is his nose or his eye. You can also see that his head has different sides, like forehead, nose, head. You can see now how I'm making the eye. Yeah, you can see now that I'm finding first position, and only after this I'm building the form. I'm making the exact eye. After you make all the forms, you can sketch some stripes. Just follow the reference here, please. and some grass and clouds. Sketch into first layer. Sketch is ready. So now it's time for the first layer. I would recommend you to start with the background. So first we will make clouds, and we will use light colors. And first we will wet the paper. I'm taking my brush number 12, and I'm just wetting the part with the clouds and a little bit lower too. So first is a little bit of crimson red mixed with orange. And on top the light part, it's where the sun comes on, there is a little bit more orange. And quite more light and transparent here. So on top there is a light and shadows on the bottom. And after this we are adding a little bit of ultramarine color. It's somewhere mixed with the red, and somewhere it just goes more clean color. And on top I'm coloring only with the ultramarine. It's not purple, it's just a clear ultramarine color. And I'm making gradient from really dark and intensive color. I'm a little bit making it lighter when I'm going down. Okay, now we finish background and we are going to the tiger. So it's gonna be only first layer. We are not paying any attention on the stripes, and first we need to build the form. So we will work only for the light and shadows on his body. We are just building form and building the plants. But here we will be a little bit more focused on his head, because it's the most important thing. And on the light, I'm using orange and yellow color. Very bright, very intensive and beautiful, looking really contrasting with our ultramarine background, because those colors are contrasts. Some more orange. It's only for the light. And for the shadows, we're just gonna use some burnt umber and maybe a little bit of burnt sienna color. Also, I'm using yellow ochre to make this orange looking not too bright everywhere. Somewhere we need to make it a little bit more, let's say, natural. So now I'm mixing burnt sienna and burnt umber and making some shadows. Please follow your reference, and you can see that somewhere it's really dark, somewhere it's a little bit lighter, but still shadows should be very intensive, and tone should be really more dark than light colors. Sometimes it's very good to squeeze your eyes a little bit and to see the balance between the light and shadows. And please, now we are working only on wet paper, so you should be always sure that the paper is wet, and if it's too dry you need to use another brush to put some water on it. And also, to finish our first layer, I'm coloring our grass with a light, beautiful, let's say it's yellow-green color. A little bit transparent, very easy. And yellow inside of the eye. First layer is ready. So now we will continue our picture, but here we will do some more details. I'm still working a little bit with the shadows, and here for the we need to blend this line a little bit, and here we will work with the white hair, with the white wool of the tiger, and with the eye. I will make it a little bit closer for you you can see then better what I'm doing. So here I just like to first make colors a little bit more bright and intensive using yellow, ochre and orange, and making like a background for the future stripes. So also I'm making colors a little bit more brighter on the back of the tiger and shadows in the middle of the back. The next step is work with the white color. So there is no white, yeah, because white in watercolor is our paper usually, but here we need to make shadows in the ear, and for this I'm using burnt umber and some ultramarine color mixed together. It looks a little bit gray, but instead of using just gray, which is black plus water, yeah, I'm gonna use some cool color. So shadows in natural light are usually has a cool shades, so that's why I'm mixing these two colors, and you can see it looking a little bit more natural and a little bit more interesting than just a black color. And now when we're making those points for the whiskers, we can actually use black color because they're quite small, but it's up to you. You can still follow, let's say, the classic rule and still use burnt umber mixed with ultramarine instead of using black. Actually, we will do this picture a little bit more in illustrational stylization style. So in this case we can use black and we can use white color. It's actually even a little bit more easy and has more contrast, more this wow effect, you know. So I'm continuing to work with the eye. Now I made the black outline. Pay attention, it's not just a circle, yeah, it's straight line on top and half round around the eye. And now we can start to make the stripes, but please be careful and follow the reference because they are their position is really important. How beautiful actually nature work. Can you imagine how it can be those, you see on the small details like on his head the stripes are still very small, but on his back, which is much bigger, stripes are too much bigger. Awesome. Animals are very interesting but not easy actually object to paint, but really it's like nature masterpiece. It's very interesting. Also guys, I would love to say that I have my Patreon channel. You can find the link in the description, and in this Patreon I'm teaching you a little bit more about watercolors and a little bit of acrylic, and also you can find one option with my feedback. So that means for $15 per month you can have my feedback anytime you want. You can text me, you will have my WhatsApp or wherever messenger is comfortable for you, and when you have some questions during this painting, for example, you can just ask me easy. And also I'm sharing the reference and I'm sharing the line art there, so you don't need to make a sketch, you can just use my line art and save a little bit more time for you if you want to be focused more on colors. So guys, only when you're sure that form and everything was good and you are happy with the result of his body, actually artists never can be happy, but at least you are close to this. Please don't be too critical to yourself. So after this we can start to work with the stripes. So here, to make it a little bit more easy for me, I'm just using black color and I just follow the reference in my sketch which I did before. You can see that watercolor is quite transparent, so it's easy to see my pencil lines on his body. After you finish this lines, the stripes, you can take black pen. It's actually really up to you, do you want to do this or not, and making some outlines and some details. If it's like gift for someone, if it's like illustration, you can easily do this and it will not be mistake. It's not classic watercolor. Yeah, and we can just make our work a little bit more easy with this. Also, I did some shadows on the plants. You can see it. I've been using just some dark green colors and a little bit of yellow to make the form. I'm making whiskers with the white gouache. Actually white gouache, but not watercolor, because it's more intensive and not transparent, and it's really bright white color. Also, I'm adding this a little bit everywhere where I wish to make my light brighter, and I'm using now dry brush with a black color to make my stripes a little bit more textured and interesting. That's actually it. Thank you so much for being with me. My name is Sasha and I will be so happy to see your likes and comments down below. And please let me know, was it interesting for you or not? What is your favorite topic to paint? And I will do some topics by your suggestions too. Thank you, see you, bye bye.